Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Alisha Amani binti Azlan. My metric number is #2382490. I would like to present about Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is focus on introduction. Introduction, business research help organization make better decision. Identify problem, find solutions based on evidence. The third is apply across field, marketing, HR and finance. The last is support systematic and ethical decision making. The background of the study is type 2 diabetes in increasing in Malaysian and HMS 2011 diabetes rose from 8.3% 1996 to 31.2% 2011. Lifestyle change can prevent it WHO 2020. The problem is people know the risk but don't change behavior. The problem statement is 18.3% of Malaysian adults have diabetes. Poor lifestyle habit, unhealthy eating and no exercise. Main concerns is A. Education, action. B. Family history, missed impact. C. Is knowledge, behavior change. Next is research question. The first question is what is the effect of education level on lifestyle behavior? The second question is how does family history influence these behaviors? The last question is what role does herd knowledge play in lifestyle choice? Next is research objective. Education level. Examine its impact and healthy lifestyle habits. Family history. Investigate its effect on behavior. Next is herd knowledge. Assess its relationship with lifestyle action. The scope of study is study focus on Malaysian adults without diabetes. 770 participants from Selangor, Penang and Terengganu. Multicultural representation, Malay, Chinese and Indian. The cross-sectional design with questionnaires on diet, activity and knowledge.
This study explores how diabetes knowledge, family history, education level and herd belief like locus of control relate to healthy lifestyle habits among Malaysian adults who have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Data were collected using self-report questionnaire covering diabetes knowledge, herd belief, diet, exercise and demographic. It used a cross-sectional design, meaning all data were gathered at one point in time. Education. The study found that although higher education often provide more herd knowledge, it doesn't always lead to healthy behavior due to time constraint and work stress. Similarly, people with a family history of diabetes may be more aware of their risk, but emotional and cultural factor can still prevent healthy choice. So effective diabetes prevention should combine knowledge, emotional support and a supportive environment. In this study, educational level refers to a person higher academic qualification. Family history means having a parent or sibling with diabetes, and herd knowledge is about how well someone understands diabetes and applies the knowledge to daily life.
My name is Nurul Najwa binti Rashid. My metric number is H23A1953. Dependent variable DV, lifestyle behavior, DV behavior that affect risk of type 2 diabetes, focus on diet, exercise, alcohol use and stress. Type 2 diabetes is preventable with a healthy lifestyle. Many Malaysians still have poor habit, sedentary life, high carb diet. Behavior affected by education, family history and health knowledge. Data collected using survey on lifestyle habit. First is education level IV1, higher education, more health knowledge in theory. Time et al. 2014, educate people often have sedentary jobs and tight schedules. Knowledge does not always lead to healthy behavior. Study explore does education lead to real lifestyle change? IV2 is Family History of Diabetes IV2. Family history is more awareness and better diet control. Them et al. 2014, these individuals exercise less and feel more stress. Caregiving roles and cultural belief can reduce self-care. Study looks at how family history influences both awareness and action. Third is health knowledge IV3. More knowledge, better diet. Example, fruit, vegetables, low alcohol. Lam et al. 2014, but not linked to more physical activity. High knowledge often comes with high stress and low motivation. Study highlight the role of support, motivation, and coping skill.
In this study, we developed our hypothesis based on the assumption that socio-demographic and psychological factors significantly influence lifestyle behaviors linked to type 2 diabetes risk, especially among Malaysian adults. We focus on three key independent variables, which is education levels, family history of diabetes, and health knowledge. The first hypothesis proposed that individuals with higher education levels are more likely to engage in healthier lifestyle behaviors due to better access to health information and resources. However, this relationship may be influenced by factors such as time constraints and occupational demands. The second hypothesis suggests that individuals with a family history of diabetes tend to be more aware of the diseases and may practice preventive health behaviors. Still, their action might be shaped by emotional or cultural barriers that complicate this link. Lastly, our third hypothesis is that those who greater health knowledge are more likely to adopt diabetes risk-reducing behaviors. Yet, this may not always translate to action if psychological or environmental barriers are present. Together, these hypotheses reflect the complex interplay of cognitive, social, and emotional influences on health behavior. Our aim is to better understand this dynamic in Malaysia, multicultural society to help shape more targeted and effective diabetes prevention strategies.
So basically, this section explains how the study was conducted. It covered the research design, populations, sample size, sampling technique, research instrument, data collection procedure, and data analysis. By following a structured methodology, the study ensures that the findings are accurate, reliable, and can be applied to the wider population. So let's go through each part of the methodology in detail. For this study, Chen Lian Tam and her team used a cross-sectional research design. A cross-sectional study collects data from a group of people at one point at time. The researchers do not make any changes, so they simply observe existing conditions such as physical activity level, education background, and family history of diabetes. According to Lauren Thomas 2020, this method is useful for identifying pattern or relationship between variables, for example, how education level might be related to physical activity. However, as Yongfeng and Zhang Shun 2020 explained, the main limitation of cross-sectional studies is that they cannot determine cause and effect, since all data is collected at once, not over time. So in summary, this research design gives a quick snapshot of how certain factors are linked among Malaysian adults. Next, we move to the population. In research, understanding the population is very important because it affects how accurate and meaningful the result will be. So usually, it's not possible to collect data from every single person, especially in large or whisper groups. So, researchers select a sample that represents the larger target population. For example, if a study is about a new medication, the population will include all individuals who could benefit from or be affected by that drug. So, making sure the findings are relevant and useful. So, the sample for the study involved respondents with diabetes in Malaysia. Based on lifestyle behavior, respondents were asked to complete a survey, a simple and practical way to collect data. Next, we move to the sampling technique, where in this study, the sampling technique is about selecting a smaller group from a larger population to make conclusion that represent the whole. So the researcher used a probability sampling method, specifically simple random sampling. So this technique gives each individual an equal chance of being selected and help during bias. It works well when the full list of the population is available. As explained by Adam Hayes 2025, a simple random sample provides an objective representative of the population. While this method is effective, it may still have some limitations as only certain group of people will be.
In this slide, I will present three main sections in Chapter 3, which is methodology, which are the research instrument, data collection, procedure, and data analysis. For the research instrument, we use a 5-point Likert scale questionnaire based on independent variables such as education levels, family history of diabetes, and health knowledge, and also for dependent variables which is lifestyle behavior that related to type 2 diabetes. The items were adapted from validated tools such as DKT, MHLC, and SLIQ. The questionnaire was distributed through Google Form for easy access and to minimize manual errors. In terms of data collection for this study, use a quantitative method through online questionnaire distribution. The respondents were Malaysian citizens aged 18 and above who have never been diagnosed with diabetes. Distribution was done through social media platforms such as Facebook and WhatsApp, and the study strictly followed research ethics. For data analysis, we use SPSS to perform 3 main types of analysis, which is frequency analysis to observe respondent demographic. The second one is descriptive analysis to determine the mean and the standard deviation of variables, and the last one is person correlation to test the relationship between education and family history with physical activity. The results show a weak positive correlation between education and physical activity and a weak negative correlation between family history of diabetes and physical activity. For overall, the use of validated instrument, systematic data collection procedure, and appropriate statistical analysis method ensure the accuracy and reliability of the study's finding.
Expected result. Influence of socioeconomic and regional factor. Lifestyle behavior are affected by education level, family history of diabetes, health knowledge, cultural values, and environment. Cultural food preference. In Penang, despite high awareness, frequent intake of high-fat traditional food prevent healthy practice due to strong food culture. Emotional and social barrier in rural areas. In conservative Terengganu, psychological burden, caregiving rules, especially for women, and limited support reduce behavior change. And for the conclusion, awareness alone is insufficient. Type 2 diabetes is preventable, but knowledge does not guarantee behavioral change. We link between education and practice. Higher education does not always lead to healthy lifestyle due to barriers like caregiving and cultural norms. Number 3, knowledge does not equal action. Even knowledgeable individuals may not engage in physical activity or healthy eating habits.